Hi, middle schoolers. Sorry I'm not there with you today. We talked on Friday very briefly at the end of class about the fact that you have a persuasive writing assignment to do this week. So you're going to be drafting that today and tomorrow with Mark here in class, and I'm sorry, today and Wednesday since you're off for the 4th of July. So I just wanted to give you some notes and some information on persuasive writing before you start on that assignment. So go ahead and open up your binder to the writing section, and I don't need you to write anything yet, but I want you to just silently to yourself think of a time that you convinced a friend or a family member to do something, and think about also how you managed to persuade him or her. And then I'm going to ask Mark to pause the video here and give you 2 or 3 minutes to think about that. Okay, so let's get back to talking about just good writing in general. And these are things that you want to have in any kind of writing assignment, and certainly in this one that you're going to be working on next. So I would like you to write down all of the things on this slide as notes in your writing section. So qualities of good writing across genres, no matter if it's persuasive, expository, creative, analytical, any of those. You want vivid diction. We spent a lot of time last week talking about those good strong words, especially verbs. You want to include specific details. Make sure that you've got things to support your ideas, details behind the senses if you're doing a more creative piece, and so on. You want to use active voice and use strong verbs, again related to vivid diction. We'll talk more later this summer about what active voice is. You want to organize paragraphs. One thing that I often find students who are entering middle school are unfamiliar with is how long a paragraph should be. And it does sometimes vary, but a good general guideline is 6 to 10 sentences. So you don't want to go by how big it is on the page, because some of you have bigger handwriting than others. You want to really count the sentences, and if a paragraph's 5 sentences, maybe sometimes 4, certainly if it's 11 or 12, it's not the end of the world, but a good general guideline for a well-developed paragraph is 6 to 10 sentences. And then of course you want to have correct grammar, spelling, and usage, and that's some of the things we're studying also this summer. So some things that are particular to persuasive writing in the assignment that you're doing this week. In persuasive writing, you want to show that you understand the issue, and that means acknowledging both sides. So if I am arguing that I think that vending machines should sell healthy food, I'm not going to start off by saying, well, my opinion is the only one and there's no other good side to this issue. You're actually going to be able to be more convincing if you show that you understand that that is a debatable issue and you acknowledge the other side. That actually makes your argument stronger. So saying that I understand that kids would often prefer to have junk food in vending machines because everyone likes to eat junk food at least now and then, that's actually a good admission to make, and then I can go on to argue for why I think that only healthy food should be in a vending machine, for example. So then I would go on to use evidence. So you want to write down the things on this slide as well. You want to use evidence, you want to use facts. In some cases, you could do research. You don't necessarily need to do research for this assignment. You can just probably use your own experience because probably you're picking a topic of something that you care deeply about. But definitely you want to use evidence. You want to provide support based on your own experiences, based on your personal ideas, based on things that you know to be true. You want to be fair, and this is related to the first point, where you don't just discount the other side of the opinion. If you've chosen a truly debatable issue, there is going to be some evidence for the other side, so you want to be fair to that, and you want to acknowledge that there are some other points. But then if you argue against it using your own evidence, then your argument is that much stronger. And then finally, you want to use strong diction to drive home your points, because that is, again, a quality of any good writing. So Mark is going to give you the persuasive writing assignment now. We did look at that again briefly in class on Friday. So you see that there's a list of topics of things that I find that students often have personal opinions and experiences with, so they can support it. You are welcome to do something else if you want. I know it says on the sheet you'd check with me, but maybe just run it by Mark and see if she thinks that it's something that's debatable, because you want to make sure it's something that has both sides. So what you're going to do in the next part of class here is, remember, if we go back to our Writing process notes, this is your time for pre-writing. Think about what's my purpose here, how am I going to achieve it, and start your brainstorming process. And so for some of you, that might be starting your actual drafting. For others, it might be some of these other methods that we talked about previously in class. But your goal is by the end of Wednesday's class, you have to have a rough draft done. So if you're ready to start writing right now, by all means, go ahead. If not, start with some pre-writing. Thanks.